Welcome to NIOP Chemistry. Today we are going to discuss about the topic atom and structure of atom. We know in nature many substances are present around us, and even the earth whole is made up of many different kinds of materials. And how these materials are made of? These all materials are made of the combination of different kinds of elements in definite proportions. Sometimes we may see these basic materials, which we call them as elements, they combine not chemically, and they just come into intact with each other and form a materials. And these materials also again further classified into mixtures, maybe homogeneous mixture or heterogeneous mixture. But now we are going to discuss about how the elements combine one another and they form compound substances. Actually, these compound substances are made up of different combinations of different elements in a definite proportion, and all these compounds are made of the smallest particles, atoms. Do you know these all compounds are made of the rearrangement of atoms of different elements in a definite proportion? Now we are going to know about this atom. Atom is the tiniest particle in according to modern views, but it is very important to know about the ancient views of this atom. In 6th BC, the great Indian philosopher Maharshi Kanad, he introduced his concept about matter. Before Maharshi Kanad also there were some concepts. According to Greek philosophers, matter that existed in this universe is made of four basic elements. Later on, Indian philosophers introduced another concept about the existence of matter. Those are of five elements together combined, and they formed the universal matter. After these concepts, Indian philosopher Maharshi Kanad, he introduced his concept. Let us see what he said. Maharshi Kanad, he said, the matter is continuous and it is made up of tiny coin-like particles called Paramanu. The word Paramanu was taken from Sanskrit. Let's see the meaning of Paramanu. See here, Paramanu. Param means ultimate or final, and Anu means particle. That means it is the finest particle that can be present in a matter. After Maharshi Kanad, Democritus and Lycurgus, these are another philosophers. Together, they introduced another concept. And their idea is also nearly the same as this Maharshi Kanad's. But they came with a word, atom. The word atom was first introduced by Democritus. It was taken from Greek. The meaning of atom is uncut. Uncut or indivisible. Anyhow, the word atom meaning uncut or indivisible, and it will help us to understand further concepts. Let's see another concept about this atom after this Democritus and Lycurgus was introduced by John Dalton. According to John Dalton, atom is the tiniest particle of matter which cannot be divided further into any species. It is the finest, it is the smallest, and along with this and he introduced another postulates also. Atoms of the same element are same in all respects. Atoms of the different elements are different in all respects. And atoms combine in a small ratio to form element molecules. And atoms of different elements combined in definite proportions to form molecules of compounds. But here, the theory that was introduced by John Dalton was opposed by modern views of atomic theory in each and every aspect. Only one aspect that was similar to the modern atomic theory was atom is the tiniest particle which is indivisible and that takes part in a chemical reaction. This is the only aspect accepted by modern atomic theory. That is alchemy, a group of scientists that they worked for the development of chemistry, and they were accepted only one postulate from John Dalton's atomic theory, that was atom take part in a chemical reaction. Okay, now here another topic is very essential for us to understand the further topics about this atom, that is discharge tube experiment. In order to know how the atom was made up of and to study keenly, we need to know about this discharge tube experiment. What actually this discharge tube experiment, and what were the required conditions for conducting this discharge tube experiment. Here, this discharge tube, it's just like a tube light. You can see that, you just notice it, how the tube light was and how that tube was covered both ends with metallic plates, and they were connected to the high voltage connections. Likewise here, discharge tube also like a tube, and this tube was filled with a gas taking a pressure 0.01 to 0.001. In between these pressures, mmHg, in mmHg only we are taking. That means it's a very low pressurized gas that was filled into this discharge tube, and here we are allowing the high voltage of current through this discharge tube. It's nearly around 10,000 volts of current. And by this experiment, there was noticed a beam of light that was passing from one end to another end. That means a light spark that we call as the phenomena of producing electric spark due to the connection of both ends of the discharge to the high voltage battery and producing electric spark. We call the phenomena is fluorescence. You know, fluorescence and phosphorescence, these are the two phenomena. Phosphorescence is itself, it is glowing, but whereas this fluorescence is not like that. And here some external electric field is required to supply for that field. Then only the electric spark will be produced. This is fluorescence. And here in this discharge tube experiment, there was noticed a beam of light rays. Those are passing from cathode to anode. Those rays were given a name, cathode rays. And these cathode rays were further studied by J.J. Thomson, and he noticed types of particles present in that cathode rays. So let us see some of the properties that were studied by J.J. Thomson of cathode rays. And here cathode rays are studied in many ways, knowing its particle nature. They placed a metallic object midst of the discharge tube, and when these light rays are made to fall on that object is making falling, that means falling shade, or these cathode rays are forming an image of the object that we placed at midst of this discharge tube. And particle nature, like a pedal, a very small and rotating pedal that was placed at midst of the discharge tube, and when these cathode rays are allowed to pass, and when these cathode rays are striking those pedals, then slightly or slowly the pedals are started to rotate, and these cathode rays are responding when magnetic field is applied, and cathode rays are responding when external electric field is applied. That means here we can understand some charged particles are present in these cathode rays. Then only it is possible to respond to the magnetic field or to respond to the electric field. Okay, further about this cathode rays and the particles present in this cathode rays we can study next video.